What would you say is the problem that you're trying to solve?
So, for me, one of the things that I think is really important as we're looking at this new wave of technology, of AI being built, it's a technology that's for all of us. And I believe it needs to be built by all of us.
Nice, I love that. Can I get some photos of you right here?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let me get a little bit further back. Was there a moment that you ever felt out of place in the tech world?
I've spent the last decade as a woman in tech here in Silicon Valley working at a variety of different startups. And it can be hard when you're the only in a room, when you're the only woman, when you're the only person with that lived experience that you bring to the table. And so sometimes it can be as little as someone not hearing you when you speak up. Sometimes it can be someone taking credit for your idea. And it can be difficult. But I believe when we work together, when we create relationships with allies, when we create a good, supportive network, internally and externally, we can change the tide and we can make tech more inclusive and more welcoming for all of us.
Yeah, I love that. It is a bunch of little things that compile together and make
Absolutely.
the space. Let me get a couple more over here. If I can
Sure.
have you standing by the column. Beautiful. What has surprised you the most about the women in your community?
I have been so pleasantly surprised by the willingness and ability for the women all over the globe to help each other out. I've seen women start newsletters and feature each other. I've seen them start podcasts and have each other on as guests. I've seen them even start companies. And it's so powerful when we come together and we can really make a big difference.
I love that.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to community builders?
So for me, when I think about community building, it's really about the people in the community and it's creating a container, it's creating a space for the people in the community to fill it up with what they want. It's creating opportunity for them to connect, for them to talk to each other, and to really guide the conversation. When you come to our events, you'll see a lot of the time we're handing the microphone to other women. Very rarely is it us because we want to create a place for you to share your voice.
Nice, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the woman in the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's about elevating her voice in the era of AI.
I love that. Let me get a photo of you just right over
Sure.
here. What's a big mindset shift that made a huge difference in your growth?
So for me, being able to really step into what I want to do and to not be put in a box, not be told I can say something or can't say something or should think something. Really being able to share my voice and say what I think has been so transformative for me. It's opened things up to make me able to help create the next AI.
Nice, I love that. Yeah, actually speaking, sharing your voice.
Absolutely. There doesn't have to be a right or a wrong or a you don't have to agree with all the things that the, you know, tech people are saying. You can have your own opinion and being able to feel comfortable in that and to voice that and share that has made all the difference.
Yeah, that's really helpful advice. Let me get some photos of you just right over here. What's something that your younger self would be really proud of your current self for?
Ooh, I think there are a lot of things, but most importantly, my youngest self would just be completely shocked that I live and work in Silicon Valley, that I'm meeting all of these amazing people from all over the globe, and being able to really move the needle on things that matter.
I love that. Nice. Let me get some photos of you just right over
Sure.
here. What do you wish more women knew about AI?
I wish more women knew how accessible AI really can be. It doesn't have to be something where you know all of the acronyms before you get started. You don't even need to learn them all. It's okay if you don't know what an LLM is. You can still use these tools. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Perplexity to help you do the boring things that come into your workflow. I always say look for a pain point. Look for something that you hate doing, that you have to do again and again and again, and figure out a way to offload that to AI.
Yeah, it's very practical. What tips
Yeah.
would you give to someone who's just trying to get started and kind of overwhelmed?
So, if possible, learn AI in community, learn AI with friends. I can't keep up. And I do this all day, every day. There's no way. It's moving so fast. And the best thing about learning in community is that other people can tell you what works for them and you can share what works for you. And it really just like supercharges your learnings. And that's why we built Women X AI.
Yeah, I love that. Building in community definitely makes a difference because you're building off of each other's knowledge. It's not in a silo.
Exactly. And it's supercharging it. So you don't have to feel the pressure to check everything out. It's okay. And honestly, I don't think you should be keeping up with everything because you won't actually be able to do your main gig, your regular job, your day to day, your to do list. You'll just be playing with new tools.
Yeah, I love that. Let me get some photos of you right over here. What's been your favorite part of building this so far?
The best part about building this is being able to build it with my best friend and my co-founder, Ray Lazo. It is our 4th time working together, and it is always a joy to build something with her and to build something that is so important, not only to us, but to everybody. Because at the end of the day, AI is going to impact everyone. It's going to impact all of our jobs. And that technology really needs to be built by all of us.
Yeah, I think that's important. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to find a co-founder?
Ooh, it's hard. Gosh, we got really lucky because we worked together so many times. But if you can do what they call like expanding your luck surface area, go out there, meet a lot of people, go to different events, talk to people who have ideas who are different than yours. I think that's also really important. I believe the values have to be aligned, but their skills and their core competencies can be different than yours. And that's actually good. You know, when you see people who come together to build a company and they have their own skill sets, I think that's where success happens.
Yeah, I love that. That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Having different things that complement each other.
Exactly. And that values alignment is so key.
Yeah, let me get some photos of you just right over here. Why do you think it matters who's building the AI?
So when you have voices that are different in the room building AI, you're going to come up with a better product. You're going to come up with a stronger product. And if we don't have everyone's voice in those rooms, the tool isn't going to be built for all of us. And I think that there's a lot of risks that happen with that. When we look at the social media era, we made a lot of mistakes. There weren't a lot of diverse voices in those rooms. And we often thought, can we do this? Not should we do this? And you talk to some of the people who were on the team that built the iPhone, and that little red dot that tells you about all of your unread text messages and the ding that it makes. It's all designed to keep you on your phone longer, not necessarily to support you. And AI is a super powerful tool, and we should make different choices. We should learn from what we did last time, and we should do something different, something powerful, something better for humanity.
Yeah, I see. Like making it more about the people and what's important to them rather than what's more profit driven.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a component of profit driven, right? But the people at those companies making those decisions should have a wide variety of lived experiences in the rooms. Because if it's all a bunch of white guys who went to Dartmouth, you're not going to have another opinion in there. And at the end of the day, while that can build good products and can result in a lot of money, it's not building products for all of us. And at the end of the day, your product should reflect the market that you're selling it to. When you look at selling your product, who do you want to sell it to? The most people possible. That's where the most money is. And if we have different voices in the room, we can play both. We can do social good and capitalism.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I think you can. I really think you can.
You can do both. Yeah,
and we should.
Let me get some photos of you just right over here. How would you suggest a woman can enhance her side hustle or her business using AI?
There are so many ways. Honestly, it depends on what your side hustle is and what parts of your business that you do again and again. So an example is every Monday we feature a different woman from our community on our blog. They fill out a form and then we copy and paste that in. And that's so much work. I was like doing each individual thing. It was terrible. But we used an AI automation rather to help with that. It's a tool called Autocrat. It's a free Chrome extension. And now instead of doing each question individually, it's one copy paste. And it's amazing. and it's saving me so much time. But there's little things like that that are out there.
What strategy would you use to find out the ways that you can improve?
So first, take a look at the stuff that you're doing again and again every week or every day even, and figure out where you're spending a lot of your time, and then go look for a tool that can help you do that better. There's a ton of resources out there. You can tune into the Women XAI podcast. We have different blogs every week. Every Saturday, we actually get together on LinkedIn and just have a chat in the comments. No video call, no nothing, super low lift. I'm normally in my pajamas watching House Hunters, and we just chat AI. And so bringing your questions there is a great way to say, hey, I'm doing this thing, and is there an AI tool that can help? What do you recommend? And I guarantee there will be like more tools than you ever thought you needed. But look for signals in that. When you hear 3 people say the same tool, that's the one you want to try.
Nice, I love that. Let me get some photos of you just right over here. How would you personally define inclusive design?
For me, inclusive design is something that should be a part of the process. And it is looking at how are the different users using your product. For example, I always have my text on my phone really big, and sometimes that breaks apps. And you need to be thinking about that kind of thing. When I go beta test products for women in our community, the first thing I'm always telling them is everything looks weird on mine because my text setting's bigger. So it's just stuff like that that you might not think about that needs to be baked into your product and baked into your design.
I love that. What's at risk if you don't do that?
You can alienate people. I mean, if it looks all wonky, I'm probably not going to use your app, and I'm not the only one. And there's a million different instances like that. You can look at things like the color transparency on something. If you have, especially with all of the cool ombre stuff, which I love, by the way, it's very trendy. But if you have 2 ombre things on top of each other that are the same color, or the gradient's not different enough against the background, some people won't be able to read it. So you have to be thinking about that. How do you make sure that your product is built to support all of the different types of users, not just the ones that operate like you?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let me get some photos of you right over
Sure.
here. What are some trending topics in AI that you love?
There are so many, and it changes so quick. The biggest one right now is agentic AI, and that's actually when AI is given agency and it's allowed to act on its own, make decisions on its own, and take action without you. And so we have to be really careful when we're turning these systems on and making that available. ChatGPT just recently launched theirs, and anyone, whether you can code or not, can launch an agent. So definitely be mindful when you're out there launching those.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Can be a game changer for real.
It can be.
Let me get some photos right over here. What would you say is your deeper why?
So for me, the deeper why, as a woman who spent the last decade here in Silicon Valley, is making this space more available, more accessible. I really want to encourage everybody to help build the future, to help build what's next in tech. And right now, that just happens to be AI. So let's do it.
I love that. I love the enthusiasm as well.
Absolutely.
Let me get some right over here.